Since last time, we have been considering the topic concerning marital misunderstandings and confrontations. And we've been looking at how to view, how to understand, and how to behave during marital relationship misunderstandings and confrontations. There is an attitude in marriage. There is an expected attitude in marriage. As one gets married, whether you like it or not, you begin to learn. People who fight learning in marriage are people who suffer long. They are people who may not last long in marriage relationship. If you want to last long in marriage, not only last long in marriage, you want to enjoy your marriage. You don't want your marriage to pack up as quickly as you entered. You have got to learn. You have got to study your partner. You have got to learn, things that makes it work. And that is why I'm grateful to God for this opportunity. You are welcome again to another beautiful edition of Let's Hear It with Omosibi. I believe that by the grace of God, we shall learn together today what we require to be able to overcome marital misunderstandings and confrontations. Today, our focus shall be on do not leave your place. Yes, during marital misunderstandings and confrontations, do not leave your place. What do I mean by that? So by marriage, a man becomes a husband and a woman becomes a wife. The two become one does not mean that there is no longer respect for one's placement. Even among twins born minutes apart, for there to be orderliness and not chaos, there is great need to establish the order of seniority. Who is older and who is younger? We don't really know who is older or who is younger, but whichever twin comes out first is regarded as the older, and the one who is brought out last or who comes out last is regarded as the younger. And then do you know why this is necessary? It is necessary to ensure orderliness. It is necessary for that home to have peace, for that home to have progress, because no two captains can steer the ship at the same time. You have the captain and you have his assistants. So you cannot have two captains in one ship. There is the head and there is the subordinates. And parents must ensure that amongst twins, they must encourage, understanding between them, respect for one another between them. Last time we learned about respect for the older, respect for the younger. Everybody deserves respect. Romans 12 verse 4 says, "For as we have many members in one body, but all the members do not have the same function." Diverse members, no problem. The same function, no. Different function. The man has his place as the husband and he has his functions. The woman has a place in marriage. She is the wife, correct. She has her own functions also. More often than not, your placement determines your functions. In an establishment, for example, the assistant, the vice or the deputy, however powerful he or she may be, can only deputize on behalf of his superior only for as long as he is delegated to function in her place or in his place, or for as long as the head, the superior, is away or incapacitated. So in marriage, as constituted by God, the husband is the head of the marriage, is the head of the home, and he is expected by God to love his wife. Loving your wife as a husband has many duties, which time will not permit us to go into today. Whereas the wife, on the other hand, according to God's law, is expected to submit to her husband in everything. Same way the church is expected to submit to Jesus Christ, the head of the church, in everything. Again, the topic submission is so vast that we cannot begin to treat that today. So having established that, let's take a look at what the Bible says in Ecclesiastes chapter 4. I'll be reading from the Amplified Version as well as the Good News Translation. Amplified Version says, if the temper of the ruler rises up against you, do not leave your place or show a resisting spirit. A resisting spirit, what does it mean? It means you are fighting. You are fighting back. You are doing your best to prove your point. Say, do not show a resistant spirit, for gentleness and calmness prevent or put a stop to great offenses. I believe that you will agree with me that in many occasions, a lot of misunderstandings or a lot of confrontations can very well be overcome. What makes it linger is pride. You feel your ego is hurt. You feel you have been relegated. You feel you are being looked down upon and you are resisting. You want to prove a point. You want to prove to your partner that you cannot always be undermined. You cannot always be pushed down or overridden. Know that your point also must, you want to prove. But then that is not the way. It says, for gentleness and calmness prevent or put a stop to great offenses. When you are resisting, when you are striving to prove a point, especially during confrontations, it makes it linger. It makes it grow worse. It makes it, irresolvable. And consequently, it leads to great offenses. It leads to anger. It leads to, misunderstanding getting out of hand, so that if care is not taken, even a marriage counselor can not help. How does the Good News Translation put it? The Good News Translation says, if your ruler becomes angry. So when there is anger, what do? You say, if your ruler becomes angry with you, do not hand in your resignation. You see, getting angry and deciding to move out of the marriage is not the first thing to consider during misunderstandings. That's what the devil wants you to do. That's what the devil wants you to see as the way out in that misunderstanding. But it's not always the way. There is no relationship without misunderstanding. You can't begin to run out of every relationship you get in. You must grow up and learn to stand your ground. You must grow up and learn to remain in your place in spite of the misunderstandings. Your place is important.